Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. First, just please excuse my hair, but we're coming to the time of the year when all the humidity, I just can't keep it straight, so I just have to let it go a bit wild. Sorry about that. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to talk about emotions, feelings, states, if you like, of how we feel. Because some is quite different, some in quite a few of how we talk about in English and how we talk about it in Spanish. So in English, to talk about how we feel, we normally use the verb to be. Yeah, practically always. I mean, I'm very reluctant to say always because there's always an exception comes up just as I say that, but nearly always we use the verb to be to talk about how we feel. And quite often in Spanish they do use the verb to be as well, but not the verb ser, because you know in Spanish we have two verbs to be. If you don't know that, you need to perhaps have a look through the videos and have a look at the two verbs to be so you understand what I'm talking about. Because we have the verb ser, which is to talk about our characteristics, what we look like and how we always are. And then the verb estar is the verb to be that we use to talk about how we feel. So in that case, it's generally the verb that we use to talk about emotions, etc. But also in Spanish, as we'll see when we go through the different emotions, they quite often use the verb tener, which is to have. So instead of saying I am hungry, they say I have hunger. Or instead of saying I am scared, they say I have fear. So in quite a few of these that we're going to look at, we will be using the verb tener. So nothing to do with the verb to be whatsoever. But I will explain them as we go along. Okay, so the first emotion that we're going to look at is happy. So there are a couple of ways that we can say happy in Spanish. Here are two, felíz, and which is a nice easy one in a way because you don't have to change it for masculine or feminine. So you can use felíz if you're a man or a woman. Whereas contento, which is easy in a different way because it sounds like content, obviously, but we do have to change it for masculine or feminine. And for this emotion, we do use the verb estar. Yeah, estoy feliz or estoy contenta. And the negative will be no estoy feliz or no estoy contenta or contento if you're a man. And the interrogative, because we don't use any auxiliary verbs when making questions in Spanish, so it's just the same really as if you were making a statement. It's just you put a question in your voice. ¿Estás feliz? Are you happy? Yeah, ¿estás feliz? Espero que sí. I hope you are happy. Next emotion is the opposite, triste. This is a nice one again because it doesn't take masculine or feminine. It's triste for male or a man or a woman. And we use the verb to be. Estoy triste or no estoy triste. And the interrogative, ¿estás triste? So yeah, that's a straightforward one with the verb estar. Okay, so now we're coming to one where we use tener. Hungry. Now, to be hungry, because notice in English we're using the verb to be. I am hungry, you are hungry, he, she, it is hungry. In Spanish we're using the verb tener. Tener hambre, which is literally to have hunger. So, depending on the person, we have to conjugate the verb tener, which, if you know the conjugation of tener, is tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen, in the present tense, of course. So, if I was to say I am hungry, I'll say tengo hambre. If I was to ask you, are you hungry? I say, tienes hambre? Do you have hunger? And of course the negative, no tengo hambre, I'm not hungry, which is unusual if I'm not. No tienes hambre, aren't you hungry? That would be the negative question. Yeah, so there is a word, hambriento, I think it is, hambriente, to be, which means hungry. You can use with estar, estoy hambriente, but it just does not sound right in Spanish. A Spanish person really would not, a Spanish speaking person would not use that. Okay, I'd forgotten that I put those. When I was doing the video for the Learn English, I was explaining to them about this new word that we've now got in English, which is a combination of hungry and angry, which is hangry. I don't know of any equivalent in Spanish, but I have asked my English students, if they know of any similar expression, to let me know. Anyway, so the verb in Spanish is enfadado. Sorry, not the verb, the adjective, enfadado. Now, in Latin America, enojado you'll hear more commonly, perhaps. Enfadado, I think, is more used in Spain, and enojado perhaps more used in Latin America. But you will probably hear both. And this goes with the verb estar. So I am angry, estoy enfadada, because I'm a woman, or estoy enojada. So again, changes for the feminine. The negative, no estoy enfadada or no estoy enojada. And the interrogative, ¿estás enfadado or enfadada? Or estás enojado or enojada. Okay, so yeah, with the verb to be. Okay, another way we might feel, which is thirsty, especially in the weather at the moment, in the summer. We quite often feel thirsty, and this again is one that we use the verb tener, to have. So if I'm saying I am thirsty, tengo sed. I am not thirsty, no tengo sed. And to ask someone, are you thirsty, tienes sed? If and then we've just changed the conjugation of tener depending on which person. So if you're saying, is he thirsty, you say él tiene sed, or is she thirsty, ella tiene sed, etc. So we're conjugating the verb tener according to the person. Okay. Yeah, here's another one that quite often we feel in the summer, because the heat does make you tired. So, cansado for a man, cansada for a woman, to be tired. And we use the verb estar for this one. Estoy cansada, I am tired. Or no estoy cansada, I am not tired. Or estás cansado or cansada for are you tired? Here's another one using tener, to be scared. In English we use the verb to be again, I am scared. But in Spanish you'll use tengo miedo. Tengo miedo or no tengo miedo, I'm not scared. And if you're asking, are you scared? ¿Tienes miedo? Now, it's not to be confused with mierda, because something that happened to me many years ago when I was first learning Spanish and I was teaching English, actually inadvertently, let's say, swearing in the classroom with a load of Spanish children, and who had an exam coming up, and me saying to them, or thinking I was saying to them, don't be scared. And I obviously used the other word, miedo, which, well, I'll leave you to look that up. And I heard one of the little girls turn to one of the boys and said, "Oh, Vicky just said miedo," and he turned around and said, "Oh no, she means miedo." It was really quite funny, but anyway, so that's how I learned the difference between them. But yeah, so be careful, it's miedo. Okay, and the last one that we're going to look at, which is hopefully something you won't have to say. I hope none of you are enfermo or enferma. Again, this is with the verb to be, estar. So you would say, ¿estás enfermo? Are you ill? No estoy enfermo. I'm not ill. You know, so it works in a very similar way to some of the others that we've seen with the verb estar. So I'm going to put all these in the description box for you to look at anyway, but obviously watching the video you will hopefully learn. I'm hoping that you'll never have to use this, but you never know. So you might be saying they are ill, or he is ill, or she is ill. So you change your verb estar accordingly. Lots of people get this one confused with enfermera, which is a nurse. So, yeah, it's different. Enfermo is ill. And actually, there is a noun. Un enfermo is an ill person or a patient, if you like. And not to be confused with enfermero or enfermera, which is nurse. So yeah, sometimes there are words that are similar that we do get a little bit confused with. Okay, so that's it. So you've learnt hopefully some estados de ánimo, some states, emotions, to practice them as much as possible, and then if one day you ever need to actually say them, hopefully you'll remember them. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video or if you've found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've not already done so and you'd like to see future videos, please subscribe. If you're new to this channel, there are lots of different videos. I normally follow through with my Break the Language Barrier books on learning Spanish, which are available on any Amazon site. And again, the details will be in the description. I do Zoom classes if you'd like some classes in Spanish as a part as well as the tutorials. Obviously, the tutorials on YouTube are free. And if you feel that you might benefit for some classes, some Zoom classes, either private or group, all the details are on the website, which again is in the description. That's it. Okay, so te veo en el próximo video. Gracias. Buen día.